This match started with each woman losing her serve. And then at 2-all, Kirilenko broken by Davenport, and the world's #1 enjoys that break lead here at 4-3, 30 love.
She doesn't have nearly the kind of power as Davenport, Maria Kirilenko, so she's trying to play a Hingis-type match against the world's #1, trying to take the ball early, make things happen. She's got a very nice game, a complete game. Doesn't pack a lot of heat in her slight frame. So she's got to be a thinking player.
Davenport changing coaches very recently, departed with Adam Peterson, David DeLucia. Now in the Davenport camp, has been a close friend for quite a while and knows Lindsay well. And John Leach, the husband of Lindsay, recommended when you're looking for a new coach, how about David? He knows you, likes you, he wants to help you.
She was thinking about, I think she got very frustrated in the last 2 years. Dick, she got so close to winning majors. Remember 2 years ago at the U.S. Open, she had a real nice look. I think she's just gotten a little tired of not breaking through, and she actually called David DeLucia to ask him if he could think of anybody that would be good for her. Then she ended up taking him.
Andy Roddick, a easy winner, 17 aces, did not face a break point as he defeated the Frenchman Beneteau, a qualifier, is through to the round of 16 and has consented to come over and talk with Chris Fowler. We'll have that interview for you shortly. Point now for 5-3 Davenport. Nicely done, playing behind her opponent for the 5-3 lead. Kirilenko will be 19 years of age next Wednesday. She's from Moscow. Same age category as Maria Sharapova, winner earlier on this Friday in Melbourne.
She still lives in Moscow and plays quite a bit of tennis now, and in fact she too has decided she needed more coaching than just her father Yuri, so she signed on with David Taylor, the Aussie, who helped make Alicia Molik such a good player. Molik, of course, had that, there he is. Alicia had such a tremendous looking career going for her, especially here last year when she beat, among others, Venus Williams.
Yeah, didn't she look terrific and won the hearts not only of her own country fans, but around the world.
And then she had this inner ear infection that really made a mess of her whole physical being. Didn't play after the spring of last year and won't be playing this year. She's doing some TV here, and she's got some other things going. But Kirilenko was ranked 111 in the world a year ago, and now she's up to a career-high 25.
How about that? 8 Russian women in the top 25.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Oh, pinpoints that pass. Squeezes it down the line.
She thought that one was good. The thing about Lindsay Davenport is she isn't just a power merchant. She hits with so much authority and great control. So when she questions something, it makes you take notice. She aims for the lines.
Such great depth in her shot making as well. And the ace for Kirilenko. 5-4 Davenport in the opening set. And now let's go to Chris Fowler.
All right, Dick and Mary, thank you. Andy Roddick joins us here. We'll get right back to that match, of course. Andy spent 82 minutes in the blast furnace out here today to move on to the next round. He didn't seem to bother you. You seem to eat it up.
No, it feels like you're playing in a blow dryer, though. I think, it's definitely hot out there, though. It's only supposed to get hotter from what I hear.
This is what you spent 6 weeks so preparing for, right?
Yeah.
What'd you do to get ready?
Just a lot of track work, a lot of gym work. I hit it about as hard as I ever have, and it feels good so far.
I want to show one thing from your match. You seem to really have been working hard on the cut backhand and slicing and keeping it low. It gave Julian Benito today, your opponent, a lot of trouble. Is that something that can be effective against a lot more guys in the draw, you think?
Yeah, I think so. It would. One side I was with the wind, so it was really sailing through the court, and I was able to get depth on it pretty easily. And I wanted to make him try to create against the wind a little bit more, and that ended up being tough for him.
When you're watching a match and there's no flags or anything, it really is hard to gauge that it's different one side of the court to the other, yet you keep your guys talking about that.
Yeah, it's a very deceiving wind, because even my coach and Dougie said, we didn't really feel the wind. And I said it was definitely pushing to one side, and it was like it was playing two different matches on each side. It's a very deceiving wind in there.
Next up, Marcos Bagdatis, like yourself, a former junior world champion. You guys haven't played before. He's from Cyprus. He's got about 21 or 22 cousins down here. The Greeks have kind of claimed him, so it's going to be, you got your bikini brigade, right?
Yeah.
Your fans that are up there, the girls yelling for you, and he's going to have his cousins or whatever they are yelling for him. It could be noisy.
The sweaty man brigade.
You like your cheering section better?
I'd rather go to dinner with my cheering section. But they're great. I mean, they bring a lot of energy, and they were out there heckling me a little bit towards the end of my match, so they're serious.
It could be indoor tennis. I mean, the forecast for Sunday, that's your next match, it could be upwards of 40 degrees Celsius, which is 105. They close the roof. Any thoughts about playing them indoors?
Not yet. I mean, if it does come to that, then you just deal with it. But I'd rather keep it open and play in the heat.
Lindsay Davenport, 15 love up, serving for that first set. We'll get right back there. One quick thought about these courts, the way they're playing. It seems like guys who are hitting the ball flat aren't faring nearly as well as people who are putting spin on the ball. It's kicking up nasty off this rebound ace.
Yeah, but everybody's acting real surprised about that. That's pretty much the nature of rebound ace, is to take heavy shots. And you've seen a lot of guys who play like that do well here. And so that's not really a surprise. It is a very reactive surface.
30 love Davenport. Poker. It seems to be you spend a lot of time playing poker at night. Does that relax you? They've had like Phil Ivey, some of the best poker players in the world, have been staying over where you're staying. Have you bumped into the heavyweights?
Yeah, I'm like the biggest geek ever, because I watch it on TV all the time. So I was down there watching the tournament, and I've jumped in for a couple games, but it's just fun. It's an easy way to relax.
On Rod Laver Arena, watching Lindsay Davenport now having no trouble so far in this game trying to serve out the first set against Maria Kirilenko. It's 40 love.
You said no trouble, and then she misses the first serve.
No trouble so far. We qualified it.
Okay.
I know matches can turn around here quickly.
Excuse me. That's good job. Good job, Chris.
40-15.
Well done. I'm gonna tell Lindsay you jinxed her.
Tell us as we watch this, from which end is the wind? The chair's on the right, so our broadcast booth is
Lindsay, the side with the Melbourne, she's against the wind right there.
Against the wind.
You see Kirilenko's return actually just sailed. I mean, she looked like she hit it pretty clean. It just sailed, 10 feet long. So I don't know if that had something to do with it.
Yeah, I heard you turn to your box, and it's funny because you have a running dialogue with your coach and the fans, anybody else over there. It's entertaining to watch your matches from the court. You kept saying it's very hard to pass when you approach from the side that Davenport was just on right there.
Well, I know he came in a couple times on me, and I hit a couple backhands that I felt I hit pretty clean, and they kind of sailed on me. So the next game I came in off a couple returns, and he hit some clean backhands, and they kind of sailed a little bit long. Like you said, especially when you hit it flat, which you have to hit most passing shots. They were sailing a little bit on them.
A little bit later on, we're going to show the Maria Sharapova match. You want to stick around and watch that? Or?
Yeah, this is like taking on an entity of its own, and it's like
Yeah, but you're winning over fans in the States for it. Guys are, they're idle.
I wish. I guess we shouldn't let the truth get in the way of a good story, and we we should just let them. I should just keep being their idol for no apparent reason.
Well, Taylor's having fun with it. Even Maria said that she's having fun with it because she's linked to a different guy every Grand Slam tournament, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know. I got 2 in a row running right now, and I haven't really done much. So done much to earn the right.
Hey, so far it's been an entertaining first week for you.
Yeah,
poker, a little tennis.
Entertaining for you, pain in the ass for me. Am I allowed to say that or no?
I don't know. That's okay.
Okay, just beat me.
It's late at night. Andy,
All right,
thanks,
good.
man. Appreciate it. Randy Roddick against Baghdad in the next round. Swatting aside rumors, swatting aside Frenchmen today. We're back live after this. Rod Laver Arena.
Well, thank you, Chris. That was interesting. I guess all the rumors about Sharapova and Roddick are exaggerated.
See, maybe you'll stop talking about it so much now,
Yeah,
Dick. Trying to
well,
create
just-
something out of nothing.
It was the hottest pairing since Agassi and Graf. They might be covering up, though, don't you think? Chris Ever on the spot, though. Lindsay Davenport winning that opening set at 6-4, took 44 minutes, dictating the play against a young Russian who's been very steady and solid. 9 winners, only 5 unforced errors, but the power of Davenport, the difference.
Now, playing tennis on a day like this is so much about, it's so mental. Right? The wind is rough, even on these covered courts. The sun is very hot. You know, it's really a question of being patient and being willing to focus, and it's tough. I mean, Andy Roddick, his whole attitude is bring it on. He's trained so hard, he wants the heat. He's like Agassi. Give me the heat. You know, give me wind. Give me the elements. You know, he's earned the right to want all that stuff. And Lindsay Davenport looking for shade as much as possible, and so is everybody else in this Rod Laver Arena.
Kirilenko hold. Second set underway. We first saw her at Roland Garros as we check first the impressive list of the top 25 women that includes 8 Russians. Sharapova, number 1 Russian, Petrova, Demencheva, Kuznetsova, Muskina, Holtseva, Safina, Ratsaffin's sister, and Kirilenko. We saw Kirilenko 2 years ago at Roland Garros, and she was up on Serena Williams 4-2 in the third as a new Russian phenom, and Serena eventually coaxed out a victory, but Kirilenko caught the eye of a lot of the tennis aficionado. Now, you saw the 8 Russians in the top 25. How about at the American list? On the top is the woman we see today, Davenport.
And Venus and Serena are the 2 players who beat her in the Grand Slam finals. She was in last year. Serena here at the Australian, Venus at Wimbledon.
That classic at Wimbledon, 9-7 in the third, as the 2 women battled 2 hours and 45 minutes, the longest ever women's final at the All England Club.
Venus had match point against her and still won. And of course, Serena Williams here last year had 3 match points against her in the semis. But, she was able to beat Sharapova and then Lindsay in the final. Let's talk about mentally tough.
Davenport at number 1. It's been 6 years since she won her last Grand Slam right here, Rod Laver. Her 3rd major title. Falls back on Kirilenko's side, 40 love. But she certainly has Hall of Fame credentials. 51 titles now for Davenport. She's 9th all-time in that category. Only 2 behind number 8, Monica Seles, who recorded 53 tour wins. And add to that, Davenport's record as a doubles player, 31 titles. 35 titles, actually. And a hold at love. It's 1-all in the second. Well, our more than 100 hours of coverage from the Australian Open on ESPN. Check that 40-15 on this second game of the second set. I know some of you night owls have enjoyed our live coverage in the wee hours. And Davenport makes quick work of that as she records her first ace of the match. 1-all. Daniela Hentukova and Serena Williams, the defending champion, tonight live at 3:30 in the morning in the East, 12:30 for you folks out on the Pacific Coast. What do you think about that pairing?
Well, I like Serena in that, even though she's not playing great tennis, but Daniela Hentukova has never gotten a set from Serena the 3 times they played, and she was real sick last week. There was a bug rifling its way through the locker rooms on the WTA tour, and she was a victim to that. So I've got to assume, especially in this kind of heat, she'll be pretty weakened by that.
Not the strongest physically of the players in the best of health.
No, but her problem is mental, I think, Dick. I mean, she's very slight, and you're right about that. But Hentukova, if she gets mentally tougher, she could sort of resurrect her career. That's the side of the court Andy Roddick was talking about, that far end, where it's a little harder to control the ball. He was slicing an awful lot of his backhands from that end, and we saw Lindsay lose a couple from there in this last game, last 2 games.
Kirilenko hitting into that wind so she can take more chances.
And it's just nuts on the outer courts. It is. Andy compared it to playing inside a huge blow dryer, but on the outer courts, the wind is all over the place.
Yeah, gusting up over 30 miles an hour today.
Yeah. Again, this is one of those days where you just got to grub it out, and desire will win so many of the matches played out there. Another one flies on Davenport from that end.
And she has such flat strokes that with the wind at her back and the greater tendency to hit long. See, Rowena Pascal is through against the American Granville in straights. Really haven't had a seriously competitive match today. All have been in straights.
Another one flies.
Yeah, long again. 2-1 on serve in the second. Davenport owns the opening set. A little music to go with your tennis action out in Garden Square.
Let's grab some McDonald's.
You buying?
Why do I always have to buy?
'Cause you're the one with the fancy job.
And the fancy tie. You know what? There. No, you're the one who's buying.
The tie did touch you last.
Money's tight these days. Good thing there's McDonald's Dollar Menu. Get a juicy double cheeseburger or other favorites for only $1.
One car was ranked most appealing entry midsize by J.D. Power and Associates and earned Strategic Vision's Total Quality Award. And it wasn't Toyota or Honda. It was the Pontiac G6 sedan, designed to be one of the best cars in the world. And now we've created another, the new 240 horsepower G6 Coupe. With available cash back, get into a new G6 sedan starting at $16,490. See your North Texas Pontiac dealers.
Late fees.
Old Glory here down under. And out of the series of flags, the Australian flag being prominent in all the Grand Slam flags countries, as Lindsay Davenport attempting to move to the round of 16. 6-4 opening set and on serve 1-2 in the second. Maria Kirilenko, much has been written and said, and commentary about her tennis outfit designed by Paul McCartney's daughter, Stella McCartney. And you know, I always have an eye for fashion. That haute couture, it's in my veins, and I give this a solid A. I like this very much.
That's working for you, huh?
Mm-hmm. Very feminine, and she's the only one, apparently, that will have the opportunity to wear that specific design.
That's just right. And Kirilenko, again, there are so many little cuties on the tour, and Kirilenko is among them. She hasn't had, this is her first big break in terms of sponsorship. And then she did herself an awful lot of good, Maria, by winning a tournament last year, at the end of last year in Beijing. It's her first WTA Tour title, and they went crazy for her over there. In fact, another thing that I think is helping Kirilenko is that she's gotten a little bit, believe it or not, she's bulked up a little bit in the last couple of years. And she's best friends with Maria Sharapova. Maria always points to this young kid, saying she's my closest friend on the tour. And you hang around Maria and her ambition and desire and training efforts, and it starts rubbing off on you.
Maria Quinella from Moscow, this young woman, and she strikes the ball beautifully.
Yeah.
Compact, solid. She's not giving anything away. Only 7 unforced errors. Set and a half.
It's pretty good, and Davenport's had far more, 25. And not that many more winners than Kirilenko. As I said, kind of Hingis-like style, Hingis-like numbers that Kirilenko tries to throw down in these matches where she's up against an awful lot of power.
Yeah, watching her play, I almost thought that when she named her players admiring as she grew up, I thought Hingis would be one, but actually Capriati was her favorite.
Among the other favorites, I hadn't done a Kirilenko match in a while, so I went into the media guide. It says her favorite movie is The Barber of Siberia. I missed that one.
I did. I thought that was an opera.
You didn't catch that either? The multiplex?
I did not.
Yeah.
But I do admire her taste in music as well. She's a big classical music fan, and from Vivaldi to Mozart, Bach. An interesting young woman. In classic style on court. Good. Trouble point here for Davenport, serving at 1-2 in the second. Now to deuce. Pascal Maria in the chair today. And shot spot just missed. Davenport's first serve percentage in this at 36%, 53 in the match.
Now here's a big chance for Kirilenko. And look, we have all seen Davenport wilt at times, go away mentally, get down on herself, and we'll have to watch and see if she can weather past this right now.
Marriott's first break point for Kirilenko since she broke Davenport back in the second game of the match.
And she can hear she's getting aggravated at herself.
She threw in the slice, and it worked for Kirilenko. She takes the lead in the second set, 3-1. We're live from Rod Laver Arena, Melbourne Park, heart of the second largest city in the country. Lindsay Davenport, the #1 player in the world, #1 seed, captured the opening set 6-4 against the soon-to-be 19-year-old Maria Kirilenko, who has moved up to number 25 in the world. But Kirilenko, with a break here in the second, enjoys a 3-1 lead as she serves. With the wind at her back. It doesn't seem as if it's windy in this enclosed Rod Laver Arena. 15,000 here, but all the players comment that, especially from Kirilenko's end, the wind pushing the shots toward the Melbourne sign. as did Kirilenko on that forehand.
One of those days. It's hot and it's windy, sticky conditions. Somebody like Lindsay, who enjoys such good feel and really plays with power and control, she's got to know it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to feel good. She might not get a lot of balls in the center of her strings as she normally does. She's just got to handle that.
Yeah, Kirilenko's hitting the sweet spot.
Maria Kirilenko doing a good job of not giving up ground. She just stood there right up on the baseline and then moved in as well. Natural instinct when you're facing that much power and depth from an opponent is to step back, give yourself a little bit more time. She knows that won't work.
And tosses in the double fault, her third in the match, to 30 all.
And here's where you expect that Davenport's biggest asset, her return of serve, is something she'll want to employ right here. Get herself back on serve.
Boy, the depth. Oh.
And it
And the
started
break
from
point.
the return.
New coach David DeLucia liked that. Heading into the wind and the big follow through. All three of those shots play so deep. And the ace for Kirilenko. Her third of the match. Swipe away the break point. Second chance to break back for the #1 player in the world. Mother Ann, still the president of the Southern California Volleyball Association, and family of volleyball players. Father Wink was an Olympian.
Rodney Harmon, a former ATP Tour player. He's watching on too.
Davenport with a break back. On serve 3-2. Rodney Harmon liked it. And so did the entire Davenport camp. The #1 player back on course in the second.
You could have chosen lipo over leg lifts. You could have chosen injection over express.
Back live, Davenport up the set on serve in the second set. The heat now has become more than just a challenge for the players. It's become an actual news story. 97 degrees on court, readings of 104 degrees. That gusty wind for the north continues to be a...
Chris and Brad showing not even a bead of perspiration, and they're right in the thick of all that heat.
What becomes interesting, of course, is that the players whose matches are being delayed and perhaps suspended, you know, all of a sudden they're going to have to double up and play back-to-back matches. Normally in the majors you get every other day off. So that becomes an issue.
Here in this 2-3 game, Davenport fell behind love 30, rallied to 30 all, leading by a set.
Oh, that's really pretty. Kirilenko did a tremendous job of jumping on top of that kicking serve. Didn't have much on it, this one, and it's unusual that Lindy would toss in such an attackable 76-mile-an-hour serve right in the middle of the service box, really.
And that almost long, and the scream of Kirilenko sounded almost like a linesperson's call. There's the ball floating long, and Davenport saving the break point. After she lost her serve in the last game and then broke back. 4-2-3. Valued commodity today. Good serve from Davenport. Cranked that one up at 106 miles an hour.
This is unbelievable. Well, is that fun? Is it fun being in that heat too?
They keep smiling. And another solid serve from Davenport. She digs out of a break point against. 3-all now in the second. Winner of this match will meet either Maria Santangelo or the number 14 seed, former U.S. Open champion Svetlana Kuznetsova, in the round of 16.
Partially closed are that retractable roof, and that's really for the benefit of the fans. These people obviously not undercover.
Football terms, from about the 15-yard line to the other 15, you're in the sunshine. The end zone seats are the best seats. You see the wind blowing the umbrellas on occasion, really spinning them, not at the moment.
Remember last year, a couple of times, our power, there are blowers underneath the roof of this retractable situation here. And because there was so much hot air blowing, we lost power a couple of times.
That was just the human power that we were losing. Then later, the electricity went too. You see Lindsay Davenport. Well, Kuznetsova has moved through, so she will await the winner of this match in the last 16. Virginia Ruano Pascal also is in the fourth round with her victory today. Expected to meet Justine and Arden, but that match, has it been suspended for a moment because of the heat, or is that once they close the roof next door at Vodafone, they'll play there? Play has commenced between those two women over at Vodafone. Roof closed. Nice depth again from Davenport.
People trying to cheer on Maria Kirilenko. She didn't have a lot of money when she was starting out, and she was a beneficiary of a fund that was set up by Evgeny Kafelnikov and Max Mirny and Andrei Olhovsky that helped Maria get to tournaments and get some training. And they kicked in 2002. That's when we first saw Kirilenko. She won the Canadian Open Juniors, and then a week later, she won the U.S. Open girls singles title. Max Mirny next plays Roger Federer. Sure like the way Roddick's looking. You know, I didn't go into any of the majors in 05 thinking that Roddick's my favorite, but I'm really liking his form and what he's saying and how he's acting. These conditions are perfect for him.
Kirilenko has matched her best ever Grand Slam result making it to this third round. She, in 2003, was a third-round competitor at the U.S. Open. She was dismissed in the second round last year here in Australia.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And as we've commented, every time you watch Davenport play, so effortless. Just.
It's really something, isn't it?
Mm.
She hasn't the great footwork that some of the other players enjoy, but I'm not sure there's anyone who strikes a cleaner ball.
She must pass all the visual tests with high grades. Sees the ball well and great hands.
But it's her fitness. I mean, when the physical side of Davenport drives her mental side. It's kind of the opposite with a lot of the women, but with her, that's true. When she's fit, she's so much mentally stronger. Because she's got more control. Her game looks better. She's in better position. Things don't aggravate her as much.
Kirilenko quick to seize the short ball. And a good hold, saving a break point, Kirilenko. Can you imagine in this weather having to wear one of those costumes? They seem to be having fun. Zebras are like that, you know. A ranked player in the world, Maria Kirilenko, showing why her stock has risen so quickly on the women's tour. She's played a solid 2 sets against the world's #1. On serve in the second set, and Davenport squeezed out a 6-4 win in the first set. Kirilenko, if she were a stock, you would have been happy you bought in 2002. Davenport, 3-4. Davenport with all her victories, the 51 titles, the 3 majors, the Olympic gold in '96 in singles, so 35 doubles titles. It's that first one that she remembers and embraces most of all, winning the U.S. in 1998. Followed the next year at Wimbledon, and then the Australian, her last Grand Slam capture 6 years ago. But she continues to bear on, and 4 times a runner-up, including twice last year. Dousing very quickly the talk of a year or so ago that she might be ready to retire.
Well, she's the one who talked about it.
That's true.
It wasn't.
No one else was pushing her out the door.
No. She had just gotten fed up with all the injuries. Had a nerve problem in her foot. She'd had some knee issues for a while. And she really decided to dedicate herself to her fitness. It's just like Mary Pierce. I mean, in a way, talk about Mary Pierce. She lost badly yesterday. There's Ann Davenport. Will be here for the first week, and then if Lindsay's still around, her husband John Leach will come over for week 2. You look at somebody like Mary Pierce. She pushed herself so hard to get into shape. She like Lindsay's not one of the fastest people in the world, but a tremendous ball striker. They put in the effort, and it was immediately reflected in their results. Immediately. That's why I look at somebody like Serena. who's got the most glorious athleticism I've ever seen for this game. And I'm thinking, man, if she just applied herself, she'd break every record. She'll be playing again tonight in her third-round match against Daniela Hantukova. I would love to see it. I would love to see her want it that badly again.
Oh, Kirilenko having trouble holding on to a racket and slammed against the court, and I think that drew the attention of Davenport, who missed badly. 4-all here. 15 love to Kirilenko. And a nice slide serve for the ace or fourth. Her game on this hot Friday afternoon has certainly been solid enough to beat most opponents. 19 winners, only 13 unforced errors. .64% for serves.
She's stylish, isn't she?
And she you mentioned loves classical music and dance, and she loves the ballet, and she moves without any excessive effort, doesn't she? She just is nice to watch. And she holds it love, keeps the pressure on Lindsay Davenport, who will serve to stay in the second set. In population about the same time the West did in the United States. For the same reason, gold was discovered in the foothills around this city in the 1850s. And gold it is, and glamour and fame for those who are able to capture this Grand Slam title. It starts the season, and Lindsay Davenport up a set, serves at 4-5 in the second against the talented teenager Maria Kirilenko.
Davenport's really struggling on her serve in this set. It's now dipped below 50.
And the double fault is her fifth.
That's nicely done. Davenport gets aggravated with herself when she doesn't serve well because her serve sets up her game so much. If she's got to scramble around on her own serve, she doesn't like it.
Beautifully executed. And the return of serve, and it was a big serve, gave her the chance.
Now she's 2 points from this set. And she got in a good first serve, Davenport, there, but it wasn't as good as Kirilenko's return. Kirilenko caught it a little late, and it created that tremendous angle. What a chance this is.
Another miss first serve, and you could see Lindsay Davenport's shoulders slump. And now 2 set points for Kirilenko to draw even. And there it is. Kirilenko owns the second set. 6-4. They'll play the third for the round of 16. Now that'll send some buzz around the grounds here in Melbourne Park. And because of the heat policy, both women are allowed at this juncture between the second and third sets, should they desire, to take a 10-minute break. We'll see whether or not they will accept that. Apparently not at this point.
She just said, we just saw Maria look at her coach and say, I'm okay. She doesn't want the break.
Right there, that's all right.
And her coach, David Taylor, says if that's the way you feel, you're playing well, let's stay with it. Lindsay Davenport.
She doesn't want it either.
She does want to change. All right, so there will be a slight break. They trade 6-4 sets, and drama builds here at Rod Laver. Davenport takes the lead. New coach David DeLucia. Well played the first 2 sets, 6-4 to each woman.
In the first set, Lindsay Davenport was imposing herself pretty well, attacking the Kirilenko return of serve, getting things done, moving well. So she was able to secure that first set, but then her serving got rotten in the second set, Davenport, and Kirilenko jumped on it, going after her own shots, not just on the return, but hanging tough in the rallies as well. A little bit more energy from Kirilenko in that second set, and it helped her to earn that chance to take this to 3 and perhaps sneak out a win.
See if Davenport can build off the early break.
You know, neither one of them said they wanted a 10-minute break, but they took at least 10 minutes changing their outfit. So
I think once they got back in the cooler conditions, wait, it isn't too bad back here.
This reminds me, and I'm sure you saw this Simpsons episode, Dick, because I know you watch it as much as I do. The Simpsons, for some cockamamie reasons, they built a tennis court in their backyard, and they got to playing, and they entered a tournament. Marge and Homer and Bart and Lisa. And by the end of the episode, they were replaced by the Williams sisters and Pete and Andre Agassi, the special guest voices of that episode.
Yes. You're going to finish this, right?
As you will remember,
yes, I
you're
do.
Sitting courtside, watching these 4 great players play, and Homer Simpson says, well, we've all learned a valuable lesson. It's better to watch stuff than to do stuff. And Bart says, amen. And on a day like today,
amen. Yeah, I do remember that well.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
When do you have time to watch television? There's the baseline power of Davenport on display. 40 love. Just as that little note from Mary might have been confusing to you out there, some might be confused that the wind's from the north and that's bringing the heat in. But remember, we're in the southern hemisphere. The north is closer to the equator, so...
Oh, yeah, that didn't confuse
anybody. It is
anybody.
hotter in the north in Australia.
Amen.
My Michigan farm boy instincts tell me when it's this hot and this humid and you see clouds like that, we just might have a little precipitation before this day is dawned.
Amen. All right, I'm stopping now.
I like that religious side of you. So Lindsay Davenport with a 2-love lead here in the final set. To meet Svetlana Kuznetsova, that's Pascal Maria, and perhaps
he looks a little distressed.
Some issue with the referee's office.
They're waiting for something. Maybe Luke Jensen knows what's going on.
He's got some asbestos gloves down there so he can hold the microphone. Let's see his technique this time.
Well, I can't even go from there. Kirilenko just called the trainer out on the court. She's having a problem with her left ankle. Remember, just last night, Leighton Hewitt had a problem jamming his foot into this sticky surface, and it was jammed, so the trainer was out there just trying to loosen up his left ankle. Same with Kirilenko at this point. She's got her shoe and sock off, and the trainer's coming out right now. So they had a 10-minute break in between the second and third set. Now it's the third game of the final set. Kirilenko's called the trainer. We're going to see exactly what that is, Dick.
Thank you, Luca. And I understand just an indication again of how really torrid the conditions are. Our cameraman who's been giving us the shots with a portable camera out on the grounds around the garden area and the big screen television, they had to take the camera and put it in the refrigerator for 15 minutes so that it would function again. Patty Hill just couldn't. He could hold the camera, it just didn't want to function properly. So it's beyond humane almost. Well, let's go where it is. The conditions are hits the line. Cloud now covering, even though the roof is open. You can see the darkening conditions, and outside certainly looks as if some storms are on their way.
Luke just told us it's dropped about 10 degrees in the stadium. That's good news for everybody.
Especially Luke. We're going to have to surgically remove the microphone from his right hand after the match. Double fault number 5, Kirilenko, and with the timeout between sets because of the heat, and then both women going back to the locker room, and then the injury to Kirilenko. The spirit of this match is certainly lowered considerably. And Kirilenko's play has dipped as well. A couple of break points for Davenport to jump into a double break lead. Davenport charging off that second serve return, leads 3-love, final set. Her best stuff on young Kirilenko. New coach DeLucia replaced Adam Peterson. Lindsay commenting that he has allowed me to think deeper into the play of this game. What that means specifically, don't know, but not just superficial conversation. At least Lindsay commending him for really making her think harder and deeper. Perhaps that's harder, maybe a better way to express it. Number 14 seed Svetlana Kuznetsova meets the winner of this. If it's Davenport, Davenport owns a 2-1 head-to-head advantage, beating her at Wimbledon last year in their last meeting. She hasn't missed many of those. Worked her way into the net and had an easy volley. point for a 4-love lead in the final set for Lindsay Davenport. Serving only 53% in the match, but when she gets that first ball in, incredibly successful. And a little come on from the world's #1 as she jumps to a 4-love lead. Meanwhile, over at Vodafone, Justine Anna Arden up an early break in the second after capturing the first set 6-4. Vodafone, that roof can close in 10 minutes there. It takes about 25 minutes. This is the older of the two stadiums for the roof to be completely closed here at Rod Laver. They've done so many things about trying to adjust to the tremendous heat conditions. One wonders if you're 1-all after 2 sets, why not take time to close the roof? If 25 minutes is too long, but if we're down to 10, it's nothing more than what the women exercised in this match, taking 10 minutes to go to the locker room. Just thinking.
I know.
Dangerous.
I didn't want to say anything.
Amen.
What's something is that Wimbledon will be putting a roof over their center court. They've already started the process. They've got all the designs, and it won't be ready this year, but they're working on it. And that's, of course, to keep out the rain. Here we're trying to keep out the sun.
Davenport is really cracking some good shots here in the final set. She's putting on a display worthy of her ranking. Top-level playmaking. Overwhelming her young opponent. And another winner. Her 31st in the match. 36 unforced from Davenport's end. More winners, more errors. Kirilenko 20 winners to 18 unforced. Well done for Kirilenko.
Kirilenko's coach liked the look of that. Again, she hasn't the power, but when she can time the ball that well, she'll hit her own amount of winners. It's just her first, though, of this final set. I think now that Kirilenko has got this big Adidas contract, you know, Stella McCartney designing stuff for her, that her coach might get a new cap from the company. And what he's got is, I don't know, something
looks like an old relief pitcher.
Something to think about. Just throwing it out there. Could have deep sentimental value that I'm unaware of.
Coaches are superstitious. Caps are precious. Well, Kirilenko from 1540, saving a couple of breakers, now has a chance to win her first game here in the final set. Good retrieving by Kirilenko. Her defense pays off, but it's Davenport leading 4-1. Final set. So you're involved both in singles and doubles.
Best story of the Australian Open.
You couldn't stop smiling watching her play.
I love Chucky. She's just right back in...
Chucky.
Very, very talented. We heard Roger Federer tell us yesterday that he feels before very long at all, she'll be back in the top 20. And if she can stay fit. I believe that.
Gwen's a fan. I wonder if they have those with Mary on them. I'd surprise you with a little gift. Double fault, and nothing upsets this woman more than that. That's more my kind of look. Discerning. Double fault and a miss on that play, and to 30 love.
Well, Lindsay got a good jump on this one. It bounced up plenty high. She shouldn't have missed this one into the net.
Dumped it right in the middle of the net. So 4-1 lead, double break, but a tenuous moment. Breakpoint Kirilenko. It all started with that double fault. Chance for the 18-year-old from Moscow to get one of those breaks back. Oh, missed the overhead. 4 disastrous plays in a row from Davenport. She donates the game. It's 4-2.
This isn't the first time we've seen this kind of stuff from Lindsay Davenport. She's got to get out of her own funk. She's got to keep up, a positive attitude. Keep up the energy. It looked like, for all the world, she was running away with this final set. A double fault, a miss into the net. That smash miss as well.
The finals a year ago led 6-2-3 love, and then it all fell apart. Didn't win another game, as Serena Williams, 12 straight games and the title. Kirilenko starts her game with a double. Her 6th, each woman with a half dozen. Meanwhile, Justine Anna Arden, the champion here a couple of years ago, in command in her match with Rosano. Well done by Kirilenko.
A much better movement, Dick, from Maria. And she's telling herself, she's forcing herself to keep moving well. And now 2 breaks for Arden. Just 2 games from the round of 16. Davenport's got to, and she's got to keep her feet moving. Take the ball early. End these points early, quickly.
shot from Davenport is really something to enjoy, isn't it? She sets up like she can go anywhere and then able to crack it down the line without really moving her feet. I mean, she's actually hitting away from her body. She's very accurate on that play. Good serve. And a chance to pull the 4-3 for Kirilenko. It's going to be interesting to follow the progress of this young woman through the course of this 2006 season. She at times is very special. Unable to defend there. Davenport back to deuce at 2-4.
Did you hear? Yeah. A couple of years ago when they all started coming through, the Russians, Justine and Ardennes said, you know, English had been the language of the locker room for so long. Now it's Russian.
Just joining us, Kirilenko, one of 8 Russians in the top 25 in the world on the women's side. Number 1 being the other Maria Sharapova. Chance there for Davenport to break and serve out the match, but what I like there, Mary, even though she was unhappy with herself the point before on the air, it isn't that slump the shoulders, drop the jaw, and say, oh, that attitude, oh, I don't know if I can even win. She's kind of more of an anger side to her at herself, and that's perhaps a good sign.
Well, she doesn't want to gum up this final set. Kirilenko is making her work for it.
But there's the break, and Davenport 5-2 serves for the round of 16 when we return to Rod Laver.
Winter X Games 10, the very best athlete.
Out on the south of this country. About an hour's flight southwest of Sydney. Adelaide, another hour or so flight further west. And the number 1 player of the world from Laguna Beach, California, serving for the match. 19 in a row it would make for Davenport into the round of 16 in Grand Slam play. That looked as if that serve was long, but no overrule. 2 points from victory.
Davenport straightened herself out on serve in this final set. It had been dipping below 50, and now it's up slightly above 60, and it's remarkable how it affects the rest of her game when she has better control of her serve.
It is a true barometer.
It is.
And that serve handcuffing Kirilenko and gives Davenport 3 match points.
the kind of draw, you get the feeling she could have been in the second week of this.
I was thinking the same thing, and in many ways she played worthy of being a second week competitor, did Kirilenko. I like her defense, a solid ground game. She made the #1 player in the world go all out in these very difficult conditions, and Lindsay Davenport advances to the last 16. And Maria Kirilenko, we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Well done.
The right moment for the winner of 51 singles titles will be at
6'4", 4'6", 6'2". Lindsay Davenport. If she looks ahead, still trying to Svetlana Kuznetsova, United States Open champion of a couple of years ago against Lindsay Davenport in the round of 16. And to those that advance, Virginia Ruano Pascal and Justine Enarden apparently will be the other matchup in this quarter.
How tough was it to play in that heat?
It was pretty tough. I mean, you know, I've been here almost 2 weeks now, and it seems like today was the hottest day. But, you know, more than anything was the wind. I think this was the first really windy day we had, and it was going so strongly across the court. On one side, it was really hard to hit the ball. On the other side, you could barely hit it. It'd go long. So just tough conditions. But really, the third set, it was like perfect. No sun and very less wind.
How was she able to get back into the match?
Well, it was tough. I mean, I was really trying to force the issue and really started to make some errors. I don't know if I was getting tired or just balls not going in, but I mean, she had very few errors there for in the middle of the second set, and I was really probably forcing a little too much.
Now, we don't see a 10-minute break too often, and then she took an injury timeout. How did that change the momentum for her from her court to your court?
Yeah, you know, I came in the side room to change my clothes, and they said they'd come and get me, and I kept sitting there and sitting there. No one was getting me, so I figured I'll take advantage of the break. And then, you know, right after we get started, to love, get some momentum. Obviously, she had to take the timeout, but I thought it was good. I mean, it seemed like I was really able to refocus and kind of regroup. And the same token, when we came back out, it seemed the cloud cover had come, and so really cooled things off quite a bit.
We talked about your fitness so much on the off season. At what point of your game or where in your game do you feel that fitness is really paying off?
Well, I mean, the third set I felt great. I mean, you're going to go through lapses throughout a match where you maybe get a little bit more winded or a little bit more tired, but I think it's if you can recover and keep it going towards the end, and I was able to do that. And, you know, I feel good. It was 2 really tough matches now. First round was okay, and I still feel like I'm standing and still feel fresh.
You got Kuznetsova next. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, gosh, I got a tough draw. I got to really keep playing well, but she's a really aggressive player. I'm going to have to try and be more consistent than I was today, and just overall hopefully improve.
Thanks, Lindsay. Back to you.
Okay, Luke.